Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Women's Month. Welcome to Kapehan sang Kababainhan. One of the objectives of the Women's Month celebration is to inform the public about programs and services, particularly for women and their families. That is why we have this online show, Kapihan sang Kababainhan, brought to you by the provincial government of Negros Occidental through the provincial GAD focal point system, chaired by our governor, Eugenio Jose Bong Lacson. We are technically supported by the Negros Occidental Language and Information Technology Center and Tech for Ed Philippines. I am Marie June Castro, the Action Officer of the PGFPS. For our fourth and last episode of Kapihan sang Kababainhan this 2022, I will be joined by Mr. Junel Valdivieso, a mass communication senior from the University of Negros Occidental Recoletos, who will serve as our co-host this afternoon. Hi, Junel, and good afternoon, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Miss. Thank you so much. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Women's Month to you, Miss, and to all the women out there that is still watching this live and also, of course, from YouTube. And I'm very excited to start our conversation, Miss, with our guest because this afternoon our topic are so interesting.
Very interesting indeed, and very important as well. But before we converse with our guests or resource persons this afternoon, let us first have our prayer, our national anthem, and the Negros hymn.
O labing makagagahom nga amay namon sa langit, mahinuklugon nga laon nga tagtugas ang langit, hangin, kalayo, tubig kag duta. Tanda ining imong timawa, kabay ining pagampo, magadulot sa amon sang kabuhi nga himaya. Salamat sa mga bugay nga imo ginpaambit sa amon. Salamat sa kabuhi nga ginadulot mo sa amon nga himpit. Salamat sa maayo nga panahon kag ilabi na gid sang imo katutom sa amon. Bendisyone ang imo katawhan. Bendisyone ang ila mga palangabuhian. Bendisyone ang mga panggas sa amon mga talamnan. Bendisyone ang ilang nga paglugayawan sa iban nga kapungsuran. Kabay makalabot sila nga walay sablag sa ila pagapadulungan. Kag ilabi na gid, bendisyone ining isla sang Negros nga amon natawhan. Kinahalad namon ang ining pagampo para sa imo kadayawan.
Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ayaw magiliw, dala sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, dulot na ng magiging, sa manlulukin, di ka masisingil, sa lahat ng lulok, sa sigat at sa langit mong babang, may ginanang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng patawad mo'y tagumpay na naglilingin, tuwing nag-araw ng kailan pa may madilim. Lumalang araw ng 145, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang higaya ng pagpay makahangin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you, Nolitsi. Good afternoon once again, and to those who have just tuned in, welcome to Kapihan sang Kababainhan. I am Marijun Castro, your host.
And I am Jonah Valdivieso, your co-host for this afternoon.
We have two guests this afternoon for the fourth and last episode of Kapihan sang Kababainhan this Women's Month. First, we have the Supervising Home Management Specialist of the Office of the Provincial Agriculturist. Let's welcome Dr. Maria Tina Pineda.
Thank you, Miss June. Good afternoon, Joel, and good afternoon to everyone. You are Rural Improvement Club and Rural Women in the province of Negros Occidental.
Yes.
Thank you, Ma'am. And our other guest is from the Department of Science and Technology, or the DOST, no other than Provincial Director Alan Francis Daraog. Good afternoon, Director Daraog, and welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. June, Janelle, Martina. Happy Women's Month to all of you there.
Thank you. Thank you, Director. Um, To those who are watching us right now, do stay with us until the very end of the program because Director Dara of VOST has very important points to discuss with us for our well-being. In the meantime, for this first segment, we would like to ask Doctina Pineda of the OPA. Doctine, do you have
Yes.
data on how many farmers we have in Negros Occidental and how many of these are women? And how many farmers organizations or associations have been organized by OPA, and are women also participating actively in these organizations?
All right. To start with registered farmers in Negros Occidental, this is a data gathered by the DA, encoded in the RSBSA as of year 2021. So we have a total of 46,865 farmers, and women is composed of 44%, and men is 56% in the province of Negros Occidental. And aside from that, we also have a data from the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. We also have data for fisher folks. They have a registered fisher folk of 55,119, and 37% of that are women, and 63% of that are men.
Okay. Doc, yeah, to follow up, Doc, OPA organized farmers organization. How many do you have? And are also women members or officers of these organizations?
Yes, we do organize farmers organization as well as fisher folk organizations. And with a total of registered, speaking of registered farmers organization in the province of Negros Occidental, actually we reach about 200 plus, 200 to be exact. And part of that is the 139 women organizations that are registered to Department of Labor and Employment. And they
Mhm.
are accredited in the province of Negros Occidental.
Wow. Okay. Janelle, do you have some questions for Doctina?
Yes, Miss. Actually, ma'am, may I ask what are the programs of the OPA, especially for our women's farmers, and what adjustments did you adopt in implementing these programs when COVID-19 emerged?
Okay, so OPA has a different programs, projects, and activities which is geared towards the Avance Negrense development agenda of the province of Negros Occidental. Actually, letter A there in the Avance stands for the agricultural competitiveness, improvement, and food security. So it's among the top or major priority for development of the current administration. And the various programs and services extended to the farmers and fisherfolk in the province is anchored in the seven development goals of OPA. Actually, the first development goal, I will discuss the seven development goal just to tackle the different programs of OPA being extended to our farmers and fisher folks. So our first development goal in the Office of the Provincial Agriculturist is to attain food security on rice and other staple crops. So under this program, this is on the enhancement of production of rice, corn, cassava, and high-value crops. This is a program in collaboration as well with the Department of Agriculture Region 6. And another development goal which we have is to increase irrigated areas and areas under the farm mechanization program. So this is where we have different farm machineries and equipment being distributed to qualified farmers, or they are farmers organization, and we do have service providers for farmers in the nearby area. So may mga equipment, may mga machineries nga ginapahulam sa mga farmers, and so that they can increase production sa diri sa province, no. And for the development goal number 3, we have sustained aquaculture production and marine resources conservation. This is the program conceptualized for the benefit of our fisher folks, especially for women, being provided with the technical and marketing skills sa aton nga mga coastal women. So amo ni siyang mga programa sa fisheries sector. And for the development goal number 4, we have promote, provide equitable financial accessibility and livelihood opportunities and marketing support. This is where we provide accessibility to the government credit programs. For example, we have the Sure Aid program of the Department of Agriculture, ACPC, and this is loan assistance being extended as a marketing fund. We also have sustainable livelihood and marketing fund assistance being provided to the provincial accredited organizations or rural women improvement clubs. And of course, they can avail up to 100,000 per association. But we do have a requirement for this in order for them to avail such service or program. And for our goal number 5, we have established and strengthened rural-based organizations. So this is where our extension workers, our farm workers are being assisted in terms.
Nadula si Doktina. Something happened sa signal niya siguro, no? So we've heard a lot of programs no kag na-emphasize ni Doktina nga sa abanse Negrense nga agenda sang Lacson administration ang A for agriculture ang mugid ang uh, pangunahan no o ginabandera kagkadamo sang ila mga programa kag kun atong nadumduman no na more or less we have about 46,000 ka mga mangunguma or farmers diri sa probinsya kag about 30 uh, ano ka, 55,000 nga mga sa fisher folks and sa fisher I think 37% ang kababaihan sa farmers mga 44%. Kaga na-mention man ni Doktina nga kapin sa 200 ka mga farmers organization ang ila na asistira na organisar kag naparehistro sa DOLI lakip na dira ang 139 ka mga women's organization, and she mentioned about the rural improvement club no. So nautod si Doktina, she's back. Yes,
Yes,
okay.
medyo may
Doktin,
problema kita sa okay, signal, no?
alam mo gabas ko bandang ulan sa inyo na yon.
Medyo.
Lapit. Video, okay. So anyway, pagkadulas ng signal mo, Dr. gin-recap ko lang ang population sang aton mga farmers kag mga fisher folks kag ang percentage ng kababaihan. You were mentioning about, natapos mo na to ang 7 ka mga banner programs?
So I'm
You
on the
mentioned,
development goal number 6, no? We have,
oh, okay.
may I continue on the
Yes,
development
yes,
goal of
yes, sige.
OPA? Okay,
Mhm.
so number 6 development goal of OPA is to sustain operation and services of the farm, nurseries, soil and marine laboratory, demo farms, and rice processing areas. And we also have last, no, the development goal number 7 is to enhance capability of agricultural extension workers. So as to the adjustment during the pandemic, the Office of the Provincial Agriculturist actually conceptualized the disaster response for COVID-19 affected farmers and fisher folks. So, nag-establish ang office ng Negrense Kadiwa Market. So, Kadiwa means one idea, one thought, ni Ani at Kita project. So, this is a market system that sells the major agricultural goods and agricultural products at a reasonable price in consonance with the ACE paradigm na new thinking for agriculture. This is in response during the time of ECQ bala, no? Which we partnered with the riders, no, so that they can deliver the available food, the products of the farmers right to the doorstep of every families nga nagakinahanglan food. No? They don't need to go out to
Yeah.
buy or do the groceries. So this was supported by the provincial government under the administration of Governor Eugenio V. Lacson, and as he has actually supported the program very actively, and tanan nga mga kwanto that time aton nga mga constituents nearby sa aton nga province or nearby the city kung diin located ang aton nga Kadiwa as really benefited from such project.
Okay. So I think bisan subong do nagapadayon man ang pagbulig sa aton mahumuma kung paano pag ibang market ang ila products. And Doktin, before ka na utod ka gina, you were mentioning about rural improvement clubs.
Yes.
So what are these clubs and how many do we have in the province and paano mangin miyembro ang isa ka babae sa RIC?
Okay, ang aton nga Rural Improvement Club, actually it's a nationwide or a nationwide national non-government organization in the Philippines, which is barangay based, and it's a voluntary group, no? So it is composed of 25, at least 25 ka mga members sa isa ka RIC group. And
Mhm.
since it's initiated by local government units, may ara kita mga RIC members from different cities and municipalities nga naga-participate. And first of all, ang ginaano naton is ang volunteerism bala. Dapat willing gid sila nga mangin member, and what are the benefits of being a member of a rural improvement club is that they can be productive citizens of their community. So ang requirement naton wala magid kwan sa edad, basta productive, ikaw willing, ikaw enthusiastic nga mag-produce ang mga maka-income ang isa ka babayi, no, in order to add income sa ilang family. So actually it is a group of women, naka-establish kita for 2009. Nag-ano lang ako sang period of time nga 3 years. So nakalabot na kami sa 4,874 ka RIC members nga na-orient, no. And out of that, we have 139 RIC groups in the province. And that is composed of 95% ka mga women, kag 5% man may mga members man kita nga mga lalaki, no? So 5% of that.
Miss, nakamute ka, girl, miss.
Yes, ambal ko pwede gali ka join ang mga lalaki, no? But
Yes.
predominantly women are members ng RIC. So, Junel, do you have other questions for Doc Tina?
Actually, miss, na samtang ginahambal ni Doc Tina ang mga developments nga ginpang himo nila or mga activities sa province, I'm very overwhelmed, miss. Kay until now, even wala pa sang COVID, ga continue until ga-develop miss ang ilang mga activities, which is good, miss. Amo na nga daw until now ang ilang nga pag-implement sa mga program is very visible man and very effective up until now. So thank you, miss, for your answer.
Okay.
You're welcome, Sean.
Nel, ang sa RIC, no, are you not curious kung ano ang support yung ginhimo sa province sa RIC? Ako nakapamasyal kada sa sa Ayala Market. May queues ko na sila mo. So, Doktin, ano ang mga ginabulig nyo sa aton mga RIC?
Yes, no, Mira, kita da nga mga rural women, anta ang ila naman da nga grupo sa Ayala Fiesta Market are the Rural Women Entrepreneurs or RICWEA, ginatawa association na sila, no, na-register na sa DOLE. So actually composed of 10 gina sila da nga mga commodity processors, no, halin sa nagakalinlain nga mga banwa kag syudad sang Negros, and they produce different products which ang OPA nagasulod sina in terms of assistance kay since they are developing commodities into finished products, no, nga pwede nila makaganar sila sang income. So we extend assistance in the form of convening them, ginagather na sila no nga mga bag-o nga processors abi sa kada banwa kag ginalantaw naton anong mga appropriate nga mga packaging materials kag labels dapat kay gina-label ginaano para nga competitive ang ilang mga produkto. So we are in partnership with the Department of Science and Technology with Director Alan Francis Daraog. Every year, actually it's our third year na nga naga-partner kami sina in terms of assisting the rural women processors para nga mapanami pagid kag maka ano sila nga appropriate ang ilang nga gina-use nga packaging kag ang mga labels bala nila kung anong dapat ginabuta nga mga information sa ilang labels. So that's how we assist the rural women processors. At the same time, we also partner with the Department of Trade and Industry in terms of different trainings and seminars, no. Kung may mga seminars in relation to social media nga promotions ang ilang mga products, so ginatap gid man ang amon office to endorse participants nga mag-join. So ang women wala gid nagaka-absent sa every mga trainings nga gina-extend sang DTI, as well as ang aton office man diri sa province, we do sang wala pa pandemic, ti miara kitang mga trade fair and exhibits, in partnership also with the Department of Agriculture, no, DA AMAD, gina-invite man na sila nga mag-participate sa mga different trade fairs and exhibits so as to sell and promote further ang ilang nga mga produkto, no, sa nagakalain-lain nga mga rural women processors sa different municipalities and cities.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Si Junel, bilang isa kalamharon, kasi may pamangkot man sa kung ano naman yung programa niyo sa mga pamatanon. Junel, ano rin mo pamangkot?
For the next, I think, Doc, what are some products naman, of course, of this RECS, which is do you help them there to market their products, or what are the support that you give them?
O, na siya na-mention ko na kagina, no, we kay varied ang mga products sa mga women nato, no. Mayara kita nga mga commodities like banana, cassava. So kung may out of that commodities nga ma-develop nila, no, gina-package nato na in partnership sa DOST. So ginapangitaan naton sang appropriate nga mga packaging materials kag gasunod kita sa mandatory labeling sa Philippines. So that is the role also of the DOST. That's why ang ginasubject naton ang mga women naton da nga not just because nga ga-produce sila, but then ginalantaw man naton nga how will they be able to compete with other products, no, kay damo naman produkto nga ginabaligya sa market. So paano pag naton sila mabuligan nga mangin competitive kag presentable naman ang ila nga mga produkto, no, sa dira sa sa aton nga mga different market stalls, no, especially dira sa Ayala Fiesta Market. And ang isa pa gid namon ka gina-extend nga assistance is that ang ilang ang ilang stall dira actually gin package na namon with the management of Ayala Fiesta Market, in which nga hindi man sila matamaan sa rental fees, no, and other utilities. So nagalabi kita nga sa Sarangan Manila nga rental fees and utilities. So para nga daw hindi man sila matamaan sa actually very self na sila ng self-reliant tagid na sila kay sila na na take charge or responsible for the different fees nga pwede nila nga sa ilang kiosko. So by that, ang aton mga kababainhan empowered na gid, no, kay they have their own income as well as they can manage their business, no, kay may entrepreneurship man bala nga ginatawag. So they're being subjected for such trainings, no.
Okay, siguro masuporta lang da is kinang mamalaklon pag itada para nga damo
Oo.
ila sale kag makabayad
Support.
gid sila. Yes. Junel, last question mo kay Doc Tina.
Yes. Doc, for the last time, they said farmers and fisher folks are aging. And how do we ensure that we will still have farmers in the futures? In the future, rather.
That's the biggest challenge na sa Department of Agriculture, especially man diri sa Office of the Provincial Agriculturist, because naga-decline na ang rate sa mga pamatanon pareho sa imo, no, pareho sa iban nga mga kabataan subong kay tilain naman ang trend, no. Ang iban niya do hindi naging magkuha sang course nga agriculture, but then with our program, a Farm Youth Development Program diri sa Office of the Provincial Agriculturist, we encourage and we engage youth, no, nga mag-participate as a member of the 4-H. Have you heard of the 4-H? No, ang 4-H, apat ka H, no, stands for health, heart, hands, and ano,
Kakalipat ko na pero
4-H.
tatlo lang madumduman ko.
Head, heart,
Head.
hands, health. Oo.
Okay.
Oo. So this is an organization of out of school youth. Actually gina-involve ba nato na mga in school, no, para nga mas mapasanyog pagid ang ila interest sa agriculture. So what we do here is that we provide access sa mga pamatanon naman in terms of agricultural projects, no. Aside from that, kung may ara kami nga yearly man, actually nag-start na kita for 3 years naman nga ginsuguran ang Avance Negrense 4-H Fast Garden, vegetable garden, which is ang tanan nga grupo sang 4-H sa kada banwa, no, gina-pa-establish naton sang community garden, which is aside from being trained nga makakabalo sila mag vegetable growing or vegetable production, as which will serve as their food basket sa ila community, no, maka-income pa sila out of that vegetable garden. So That's one of the concept nga para ma-engage naton ang appreciation sa mga youth no parte sa agriculture. And we also endorse them. Sample ko na main member na siya sa 4-H club no diri sa province. We have a master list of that kay tanan nga mga pamatan-on naton basta na orient sila ara na sila sa master list, and we endorse that master list sa Department of Agriculture sa ATI man, which is the secretariat sang sininga program sang Farm Youth Development Program. And then if there are available opportunities like ang aton nga Young Filipino Farmers Training Program in Japan, kung qualified sila to do this training sa Japan for 1 year. So gina-endorse naton sila as long as ma-qualify sila during the screening. There's also a Taiwan internship program nga kundiin o ara man nga pwede maka-join or mga qualify ang isa ka pamatan-on basta members ng 4-H club.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc Tino, for sharing this information. I think our farmers, men and women, and the youth will be happy to know that aside from the 6 million support to livelihood of rural coastal women, which you are implementing, uh, this also includes for our RICs and the Farm Youth Program, and of course the 1 million support to farmers entrepreneurship program. Our God Fund also supports this 2022, the construction or establishment of two training and livelihood centers, one in Victoria City and another in Himamaylan City, amounting to 7 million pesos. And we also approved 3.5 million as support to the Avance Negrense Farm School development project located in Bago City. So hopefully, padayon ta nga may mga farmers kay very important you know. And sa under naman sa aton nga gender responsive intervention to COVID-19 and new normal project, we are allocating 1 million as support to farmers and fishers organization and their capacity enhancement program. So, inasagad pa lang na may general fund pag nga support for agriculture. Yes, Junel, ano imong
Wow.
masiling?
Wow, I'm so very impressed right now, Miss, because that is just from the God Fund. I heard that OPA has really a lot of programs and services, especially during these times of the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, thank you, OPA, for all of the efforts that you ensure of our food security.
Yes. Huh? So, Doctin, any additional statement, Doctina, before we proceed to another topic, any statement, no? Before we proceed to another topic, nga ikaw man ang nagrekomendar nga i-take up ni naton ining importante nga topiko sa food safety. Yes, Doc.
Yes, no. For the last, siguro quote man ni Guro sa tanan nga mga babayi, no. An empowered woman ko no is also empowers all other women. Okay, just like you, Miss June, as our provincial GAD action officer, you empowered us also as stakeholders and proponents ng GAD nga focal point system diri sa province of Negros Occidental. Of course, with the support of our honorable governor, no, nga maka-access funds ang aton mga rural women kay para nga ma-implement ang mga programs nga very beneficial for them and for to improve the quality of lives of our rural women kag of course ang aton nga mga youth sa probinsya sa Negros Occidental. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Happy Women's Month. Don't leave the studio. We'll go back for our photo op. And yes, thank you man sa imong nga bag-o nga department head dira si Dr. Edmondo Raul Kaunsing for allowing you to join us this afternoon. And this time we'll have a discussion on food safety. As you have noted when we started the program, we have no less than the provincial director of the Department of Science and Technology to be with us this afternoon to discuss this very important topic. Let's again give a virtual applause to Director Alan Francis Daraog. Sir Daraog, good afternoon, sir, and thank you for being with us.
Yes, good afternoon, Marie June and Junel. And of course, let's I forget, thank you, Doc Tina, for being our partner for the last 3 or 4 years and forever. Thank you once sa Kapehan sa Kababainhan and for inviting the OST to share our advocacy on food safety.
Yes. Sir, si Jonel una mamangkot sa imo.
Oh,
All right, so
Jonel,
hi,
come
sir.
on.
Good afternoon, sir. What do we mean by food security and why is it important?
Sorry,
I
food
think
safety pala.
there is a typographical error. No? Di siya food security. It's
Safety,
different from
sorry.
food safety. Anyway,
Safety.
hindi secure ang food kung hindi siya safe, right? So dapat first and foremost, very very safe gid ang ato nga kano i-consume. According to Mr. Codex Alimentarius, ang food safety, it is defined as the assurance ang food na gina-consume naton, ginakaon will not cause us harm when it is prepared and or eaten according to its intended use. So, if not maintained, so seriously makahatag sa aton sakit or even death.
Mhm. So sir, ano ang posible matabo sa isa ka tawo kung hindi safe ang pagkaon nga iya ginakaon? Anong posible matabo sa iya?
Okay, there will be an occurrence of foodborne illness, no?
Mhm.
So malaton, laton-laton, uh, from maybe you will experience yung sintomas niya like lupot,
Mhm.
diarrhea, and
Mhm.
vomiting. Ang worst even is ang jaundice. So which I even experienced that na nag-yellowish ba ang ato na kwan, ato nga face, ang white eyes naton, even our fingernails diri nag-yellowish siya. So ang pinaka grabe nga matabo jaundice o mangin hepatitis siya.
Mhm. Yes.
So, sir, ano mga mayor nga sahi sang masakit nga gahalin sa pagkaon?
Okay, there are only three types ng foodborne illness, no, that can cause maybe even death. Una is infection, intoxication, and toxin-mediated infection. So ang infection, makuha natin nila siya sa, like example, ang egg, chicken egg. There are lots of bacteria inside the egg, especially sa yolk. Salmonella ina siya, natawag na bacteria. Kung hindi siya properly cooked, thoroughly cooked, you know, I think sa mga fast foods ang una, not even siguro subong, I have experienced na, hindi siguro basi ka mo man, you have seen nga ang itlog, pag nagluto sila medyo, or maybe even sa, during breakfast namin, ang itlog is malasado.
Mhm.
It's wrong. Dapat hindi siya malasado, dapat cook siya, dry siya.
Luto siya
Kaya ang
dapat.
salmonella, ang bacteria, grabe sila.
Mm.
Then secondly, intoxication, mga toxins o poisons na present or inherent na sa food. So example sila is ang pufferfish or ang butete. May hilo na siya nga daan o puffer toxin ang tawag. Then thirdly and lastly, amo na siya ang mga toxins nga ara sa gatas, mga unpasteurized bala nga dairy, sa mga ground beef na amo na siya ang mga toxins. So we can experience foodborne illnesses if not properly handled and prepared.
Mhm. So paano ni sa sir mag-occur ining foodborne illnesses? Because wala
There
pa
are
na, yeah.
Yeah, there are two types o klase kung paano siya mag-occur. One is contamination. So very
Mhm.
very simple naman to understand, to explain. Contamination ng ara na siya daan. It's present in ang toxin or whatever na harmful substances sa food or introduced by humans. Just like natabo di I don't think I remember no sa buhol atong
Mga
kasava.
bata.
Kasava I
Oo,
think that
yung
is
mga bata no, nagkaon, okay ba
yes.
yun?
Kay ang aton nga mga kasava may species nga may cyanide. So if it is not properly prepared, ang cyanide nila that can cause it is toxin. Hilo siya. So
So bali
that's
sa
it
klase
really.
ginadala iya sang kamuti kahoy. Ang balsang iban kung pagtanong ko nung suli makakos ang hilo. Is that true?
Sa mga superstitious beliefs sa man.
Okay. So it's really the klase sang kamuti
Yes.
kahoy. So dapat sir iwasan na nato nga klase sa kamuti kahoy or bisan ina siya nga kamuti kahoy pwede gyapon maluto basta tsak ko lang ang handling.
Hambal is pabukalan, di ba makita nyo na, or even another basic example is ang aton nga bamboo shoot or tambo.
Tambo,
Di ba
oo.
magpabukal kita is may nakita ka mga nagdakal-dakal, gababols,
Mhm.
cyanide na siya. So
Ah.
dapat ginakandos na siya o pero ninyo islan ang tubig during boiling until wala kita makita ang may nga bukal-bukal para
Okay.
evaporate ang cyanide. So
Ang
wala
ang
siyang
tanan
dapat.
ni nga tambo may cyanide gina siya. So that's why dapat ginalaga gyud siya kag ginaula.
Yes, correct. Correct.
O nami gid pamati ang aton mga kababainhan kay usually traditionally the nanay nagapreparar no.
Gid.
Naniya pang
And then,
padagsang tambo.
another thing, no, not only contamination, hazards. So it
Mhm.
can be biological, chemical, o kung physical. Magsilingit na may biological, ang presence ng bacteria o mikrobyo. So, ang
Mhm.
mga ito basic example kong salmonella sa itlog.
Mhm.
Chemical, ang mga example ko sa cyanide sa kamuti kahoy. And then, ang physical, common ini siya sa mga tinapay. Say, may mga bukog, mga lipak-lipak, may stapler, bala ka stapler ha. Siguro, na-experience na. Kami kini
Nakaimpon?
Tianggi kami, ang
Mm.
amon piyaya, ginabaligya, ginabakalan, at dinamon sa nagalibot, may stapler. So, physical. So,
Ah,
tatlo hazards lang naman. Hazards and contamination.
mhm. Naimpunan sa hindi dapat makaimpon.
Correct.
Oo. Yes, oo. So, sir, so paano naging unsafe ang pagkaon, for example? So, aside from those
Unsafe or
sinabi
hindi
mo.
sa safe, hindi siya dapat kanon or delikado
Mhm.
kanon or even may cause death is may lima ka factors nga
Uh-huh.
riskuhan. No? Risku gid siya. It's a risk. One
Mhm.
is, of course, bakal ka sa hindi siya nga reputable or unsafe sources.
Sa
Siguro
mga
doon ta nga
higa-higa lang.
ginabaklan ta, malimpyo, even nga gapangayo kita certificate of analysis kung ano man na siya. No? Number two, dapat i-cook ang food at proper temperatures. Malaga-laga na hindi la maglaga tayo. Dapat ang sabaw dapat clear. May takabalo
Mhm.
usually ano lang, mano-mano ang tawag. Pero ang unod is gadugo-dugo sa sulod.
Mhm.
Ang microbio, grabe na. Number three, holding food at incorrect temperatures. Luto ka bi spaghetti. May birthday party ka sa mga alas 3. But do you think ba lang ma-prepare ka na sa pagkaon by 9 a.m. sa morning?
Mhm.
Sa 3
May
p.m. handaan?
mhm.
Di siya dapat. Number four, of course, if we are using contaminated equipment, may go mga utensils. And then lastly, practicing poor personal hygiene.
Mhm.
Very, very important sa food handler or food preparer.
Ah, so yung for example, pag-prepare ba dapat lain ang tapalan ko para sa karne, lain man para sa vegetable?
Correct.
Part of it.
As per US Center for Disease Control and even FDA naton, local FDA naton, may siguro sa mga big companies, big food processing companies, they observe color coding. O pwede naman na magamit sa ma-observe sa balay, mga households, mga nanay dira, or even
Mhm.
mga tatay, mga galuto. Kasi pag karne, red,
Mhm.
pag fish or seafoods, blue ang color. So, pwede mo na butahan mo na tip yung puntas ng knife o basta color coded. Yeah, color coded siya para
Among
hindi
ginagaling
siya
idea.
mag-impunan eh.
Hmm.
Yes,
So,
ideally ma'am. Ideally.
for example, sir, kung pigado ka, hindi ka masyado kabaka sa colored corn, pwedeng hugasan mo siya after every use sa
Yes,
kung hindi mo
pwede
kakasarap sa color coded.
man. Galing kiti kung sa mga kung mga gadali ka na sa mga restaurant ka, it will
Sa
take
rest.
time. Magastos
Okay.
sa habon, gastos sa tubig.
Ah,
Sige lang,
so I
for a start siguro, amula na siya nay. Then later, pag may naka-ipo na kamote, pwede nakabakal.
mhm, mhm. Nel, may ipamangkot ka kay sir. Junel?
Actually, yeah, I miss actually miss tanan miss na mga sabat miss actually na enlighten ako miss about sa mga unsafe foods or paano tanan ma-prevent ang mga illnesses. Of course, mai kuan ko guro miss may maguguro miss ang akon nga side which is very ma ano
Ma-share ka?
miss.
Yeah? Ma-share ka?
Am I audible? Yes,
Yeah,
Miss.
yeah.
Yeah, Chuck. Just like what we do, Miss, on laboratory sa UNR, before we use the following chemicals or the apparatus, we need to contaminate in order for us to prevent some bacterias. Kaya, of course, when we say laboratories, Miss, more or less kalabanan gin mga apparatus is already toxic kay tungod gin pang butangan na sang other materials kag hindi ta mabalaan nga ang mga materials nga na pangbutang sa mga apparatus is still wala na. So we need to contaminate which is from Sir Alan said yan, we need to contaminate in order for us wala may matinir nga bacteria or
Ah,
any yes
so
miss.
is that the correct term? I-contaminate or what's the correct term?
Decontaminate.
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 Okay, okay. Sige, follow up ko lang guro sir kasi you mentioned about nga kadako sang portion nga kung kisaan nagalain ang pagkaon because of personal hygiene. So specifically, ano ini siya, I'm very interested because our women will also learn a lot from this, no? And of course, syempre, yung mga lalaki man. Okay, sir, ano mga example
Okay.
sa mga personal hygiene nga dapat gid naton sundon?
Okay, there are four things to avoid
Ah,
or we
avoid.
can consider poor personal hygiene.
Mm.
We can consider poor ang personal hygiene natin if you fail to wash your hands correctly. So siguro nakmakita yan mo na sa mga advertisements, even during pandemic times, di ba, na hand washing is very important to do. One basic health and safety protocol, mag-wash kita hands. Pila ka seconds kita dapat mag-wash ang hands. Of course, with the soap.
Ang tandaan ko lang, happy birthday nga duha ka sulit.
Correct. Twice ka makanta, equivalent
Pila
sa 20
pila ta
seconds.
ka segundo, sir?
20
Ah,
seconds.
yung 2 times of
Equivalent
six.
to happy birthday song. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay.
dapat gabukal gid siya, diri mga singi-singian. Ang kuko usually, dapat kung very dirty gid, usually gina-require sa mga companies, processing companies, may brush.
Mhm.
Tilikod diri, mga diri siya lang. Diri mga kilid na diri, usually hindi na miss out na nato, no?
Ah,
So,
okay.
importante kinang hand washing. And after that, mabanlawan siya. We have to dry gid siya ang hands. Kay mas gusto sa mikrobyo magtiner sa wet surfaces or wet hands. Of
Okay.
course, dispose na ang ato nga tuwalya or whatever nga those materials nga pang trapo. Of
Mm.
course, ani pala, again, when you cough or you sneeze in food, gulpiada. Usually, hindi tayo mapunggan. Hindi gidamit. So, ano ba dapat himunta kung mangatsi or mag-ubo with our bent elbow,
Mhm.
muna. Kaya hindi dapat hindi siya muna. It is very wrong. Kaya our hands are directly preparing or handling food. So, ari di si bacteria gapilit o si mikrobyo. So, bent elbow, usually maawa pa lang.
Okay.
And number three, yung prepare ka food, gadi ka pangalot-ngalot, pangawi, o ba even worse is mapusa ka na punggod. Sorry ha, mo gina siya eh.
Oo.
Then you touch your food or any food,
Mm.
patay. And lastly, do not work or any of your staff or worker or food handler to work while they are sick. Makalalaton. Pandemic pala subong, may kataro ka lang, may ubo ka, whatever. Don't work. Don't report sa office.
Yeah. Oo.
So those four, ang poor personal hygiene. So
Mm.
opposite
So,
sila, dapat maging malimpyo.
yeah. And sir, one time, may nakita ko na sa mall, sa restroom, sa isa ka, may kalanaan sila sa dalom, no? Mga fast food. Tapos ang ila apron, na sok-sok taas na dito sa restroom. So, daw, iba daw kalaw, ay sir, no? Dapat hindi nila magsulod sa restroom, hindi nila pagsok-sok nila apron dito tani bilin sa ilang restaurant.
Correct. Amo gina siya dapat i-leave nila ang ilang working clothes sa ilang lockers.
Kag kung naman sa mga ponsyon-ponsyon, kita na to, ang mga nagaluto, nagaano pa na, nagapanigarilyo daw. Pakalaw, no?
So,
So,
poor personal hygiene, hindi kaya siya dapat ng smoking. Okay lang mag-smoke siya, but before they get back to work, handling the food, hugas gid sila.
not
Okay lang
while
na siya, hugas
cooking.
lang.
Not while
Of
cooking.
course, may
Nami
mask.
kita kamas, oo.
Yes. Then may covered ang ilang hair. Hasta din sa dunggan ha.
Ano nga,
Hindi lang kutob sa una. Covered din niya
sa
pati ang
loob.
ears.
Ano nga ning tawag? Ano?
Hairnet or hair
Hair.
restraint.
Okay.
Kaya ti
Yun.
siyempre buhok ta, gulpi lang. Amo na physical hazard na siya pag nagtupa sa food.
Yeah.
You know what? Ang hair na to contains bacteria, mikrobyo. Especially you ladies. Lagwa ka
Kilaba
buhok.
ako
Mas grabe. Mas grabe ang presence ng bacteria sa
Oo. Amo lang
mikrobyo.
ba nila, sir? Isa sa pinakahigo nga parts ang aton buhok.
Hindi lang. Ang pinaka-dirtiest is ara sa sulod siyang tiyanta, intestines.
Okay.
Then secondly, ang mouth. And then physical. That's why gali ginapa-hair restraint, ginapa-hairnet natin sa ang balhas, ang drippings, puwerke ang mikrobyo.
Wow.
So dapat ang ilan ding hair restraint or hairnet as na siya may kilay. Para kung may balhas, i-absorb sa cloth.
Yeah. So kung ka namin, kung gina-remind kami ni sa aton mga food handlers, no? Especially mga negosyo or even sa household
Yeah.
level. Oo. Yeah, that's very, very good info. Junelle, would you like to add something?
Yes,
Yes,
actually,
ma'am.
Miss, I agree with you, Miss, because of course, miss, dapat miss ibalon tagid kung ano ang mga things that we need to do before we example before ta magluto sa aton nga dish every night or every lunch or every morning. Kay that is very important nga mga practice sa aton nga personal hygiene so that we can prevent some illnesses or makaprevent ta kung ano makaon ta mga hiko. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, just by correct hand washing, we can prevent a lot of illnesses again. Of course, thank you so much for the U.S. Provincial Director, Alan Francis Deraog, for sharing this vital information.
Yes.
Thank you also hosts Marijun and Junel and to my fellow guest Doc Tina Pineda. Before I forget everything, thank you everyone.
Si Doc Tina, sir, ang nag-recommend nga we will include food safety as a topic and we're so thankful nga recommend niya nga imbitahon ikaw. It's my first time to get in touch with the OSC and of course to meet you even though virtually pa lang no, the provincial director. Yeah, siguro sir Junel, pangayuan naton si Sir Francis ang mensahe para sa aton nga mga palamatid at mga mananaw.
Yes.
Labi na sa kababaihan, Sir Alan.
Yes, okay. First and foremost, happy Women's Month. Nakakamulay may month kami wala.
Every day pa
Anyway,
naman, sir.
uh, for everyone siguro, no, be watchful of whatever we buy or you buy and eat. Uh, may chant lang kami, no? If
Mhm.
you are in doubt, throw it out. Di ka
Ah,
sigurado, boy, budlay na.
mhm,
And
mhm.
stay safe, no? Stay safe, everyone. Happy eating lang. Thank you. Happy Women's Month once again.
Thank you. So happy eating basta sigurado nga malimpyo ang
Correct.
sakto. Thank you, Provincial Director Daraog, and thank you, Doc Tina Pineda, for joining us this afternoon. We do appreciate your presence and your sharing this afternoon. So 1 hour is definitely not enough, especially atong parte sa food safety bala, no? Kaya we hope to invite again Provincial Director Daraog, maybe siguro sa sunod face-to-face encounter para maka chika-chika gid siya sang kababaihan labi na gid ang taga Provincial Council for Women kagang aton man siguro mga taga RIC permi na sila gakit anay ni director ya kay ang DOST nagahatag sa ila mga training on packaging and labeling no siguro pati na mga expiry kung saan una dapat ma-dispose na ang ila nga himo nga mga produkto no so salamat gid sa pag-edukar sang aton mga kapwa babae and of course mga farmers man ato mga negrosanon kag those engaged in food business kag syempre sa housework. Junel, thank you so much for joining me and I hope nag-enjoy ka man kag na-educate ka man damo kanimo natun-an Junel this afternoon.
Yes, Miss. Good afternoon. So thank you so much again, Miss, sa pag-join pag-intaman sa sini Miss nga activity, Miss. And I'm very overwhelmed Miss, sa tanan nga na panghambal ni Doc Kagina kag ni Sir Alan.
Okay, so on behalf of the Provincial Gender and Development Focal Point System, chaired by Governor Eugenio Jose Bong Lacson, this is your PGFPS Action Officer, Marijun Castro, thanking Junel Valdivieso for being my co-host this afternoon, and for Knowledge and Tech for Ed Philippines for the technical support since our first episode last March 7. Special thanks to our producing director, Dr. Maria Cristina Orbicido, and our tech support with Silly Carmantreo, of course, also Red, Don Laurenti, and the rest of the Knowledge staff. To all our guests from episode 1 to 4, siyempre, ada na si Doctina of Knowledge, Miss Karen Densay of NOSP, Miss Riza Joy Moldes of OWA, and Ma'am Sally Barrios of the OFW Federation of Negros Occidental, Miss Merly Garcia of PSWDO, and our co-host last week, Alvin Alayon and Mary Elacion, and our guest for this afternoon, Doc Tina Pineda of OPA and Sir Alan Francis Deraong, the Provincial Director of DOST. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and healthy. And to all of my sisters, may greetings si Janela sa aton.
Yes, to all the women's out there, happy Women's Month. Abansi
Banse,
Negrense.
Negrense. Salamat, Gid. Bayong hapon.